Man, what a year we had. 2024 came and went so quick. But the road to WrestleMania is vastly approaching, and we are ready for that road. This is episode 12 of Sports4U Wrestling. I'm Trail. That's my guy, John. Joining us tonight for the final episode of the year is the big homie Mike D from Wrestling from the 313 podcast. Mike D, what's up with you, my boy?
What up, though? What up, though, fellas?
And last but not least, I was actually surprised when I got the phone call that he wanted to be on the show. Sports4U podcast resident jokester. If you're ever in the Toronto area and you need a place to go to find some nice maple leaf beaver tail, just look at my guy right here, the milkman himself. King Mo. Good, man. Welcome to the podcast for the first time, finally, right?
Yeah.
Hey yo, yes, no, it's thank you guys for letting me join you guys in the squared circle. It's awesome. I'm glad someone's doing this. I'm a huge fan. I don't have anyone to really talk about it besides you guys, so this is great. So thanks for having me.
Always, bro. Always.
If I know now, man, you would have been the first guest on the show. But hey, man, what a way to close out the year with the craziest man in Canada, right?
Oh man, this is gonna be real good.
Well, second craziest. I think our prime minister might be up there right now with some of his decisions. But this isn't a political podcast, so I digress.
Well, craziest one from the Sports4U Chronicles is definitely the milkman himself. I mean, for one, you're a Cowboys fan, so it's like
don't remind me.
What's up, Bella? Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. All right, so we're gonna start off with Saturday night's main event, the show that we haven't seen in a few years, at least 10 years since the last time they had a Saturday night main event. At least
I think they said it was 15,
like 15 to 16.
Yeah, 2000. Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy because the last time I saw Saturday night's main event, Matt Hardy got knocked the F out by Evander Holyfield, originally retired yet still got hands Evander Holyfield. That's the last time that show was ever on. And so it made its triumphant return, and man, the nostalgia for this show. They had the referees dressed to the T. They had Jesse Ventura back with the boas and his signature outfit. You even had Joe Tessitore playing tribute to the late great Mean Gene Okerlund, which there's no one that's going to top him ever in life. So the first match, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn. I mean, Sami Zayn put up a fight, but Drew McIntyre got the win. So that's pretty much victim number one on his Bloodline Revenge tour. And Mo, I'm gonna start with you. What did you think about Drew McIntyre's recent hit list? Pretty much everyone outside of Punk helping the Bloodline.
I like the direction they're going with this because he was screwed over, remember, by the Bloodline at King of the Castle or whatever that pay-per-view was called.
Clash of the Castle, yeah.
Clash of the Castle, sorry.
Yes.
And yeah, this is a great way to bring that back. The people that screwed him over. So it was great. Sami Zayn is the first victim. They're going to go down the line. I think Jimmy's probably next. And then Jay, and you work away to the top dog, which that's going to be interesting because I feel like there's a big heel group on the way. It's not just going to be Drew that addresses the big dog, but it remains to be seen. But I'm excited to see what happens.
So you've been seeing what we all been seeing, that each corner of WWE there's been one person from each section trying to get their little hit list, and the common denominator is Roman Reigns, which is crazy. Mike D, man, talk to me. What'd you think about that match for Sami and Drew, and again his pretty much Bloodline hit list?
Hey, Drew McIntyre been out here like he craving a hunter, or he's some type of hitman or something. He just been taking everybody from the Bloodline out. But go back to what Melky just said, like, that's the same thing I've been thinking, because all of these stories that's been going on, the Cody Rhodes story, the Drew McIntyre story, they all connected to the bloodline. Even the CM Punk and Seth Rollins story is all connected to the bloodline. So yeah, and I've been seeing that too. I'm like, I could see a nice little heel faction to go up against the OG bloodline, because this story is not over. I think that once he gets the Ulafala from Solo, I think we're gonna start seeing those seeds getting planted for another heel faction. But
John,
overall, I think, I mean, of course, Drew was going to go over, and then they said also that Sammy never beat Drew in a one-on-one matchup. So just how this story is going, I didn't see Sammy getting the win.
That is true. I mean, me neither. I mean, there's no way in hell. I mean, Sammy's good, but come on now, Drew McIntyre? Yeah, no. John, what you think about this whole situation with Drew pretty much starting off with the weakest one of the whole group with Sami Zayn?
It was shocking when he came back. I was just like, oh boy, the Scottish psychopath is back, and he's taking names. Obviously, it starts off with Jay getting attacked by someone we don't know backstage, and then we end the show with Sammy losing to Seth, and then here comes Drew McIntyre out of nowhere, sending Sami Zayn to Claymore country, and then that's what it is all painted. The picture was just starting to get painted. Drew McIntyre got a hit list. If you had any business recently with Roman Reigns and trying to remake the extension of the bloodline, the original bloodline, you're on his hit list. Mm-hmm. And it started with Sami Zayn. We saw what happened Friday night on SmackDown. He took out Jimmy. Man, what type of man Claymore's a guy with an injured big toe? Honestly, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm still Big Jim, and I got a hurt big toe.
Come on, man. I mean, I got 9 toes right now. Come on.
Yeah. Hey, I should have known something was up. The fact that Jimmy Uso came out there by himself. Because usually they never let the man speak by himself. So I seeing Drew McIntyre pull up, I'm like, okay, so he really is gonna go through this list. And the fact in the promo, I think like the week before, he pretty much exonerated CM Punk from the equation for now, because he basically said, like, hey, at least CM Punk took a bribe. He took a deal, so at least he has a reason. Everybody else just fell in line just like that. So because like I said, the common denominator is Roman Reigns. It's like Kevin Owens been fighting the bloodline since the pandemic, and Cody took his side. Drew McIntyre got screwed over by the bloodline. Now Jay and Sammy are on Raw, sticking up for Roman. So it's like, what's up, Christy? So it's like, damn, like, what are you doing? And then CM Punk, which I told you, John, a while back, that was the way that was going to piss Seth Rollins off, was seeing CM Punk help Roman Reigns, the one man that Seth Rollins hates the most outside of CM Punk. So to see that happen, and then to have that bleed over to Monday Night Raw, where pretty much Seth Rollins told Drew, like, yeah, I don't like the bloodline of Roman Reigns, but I don't like you either. So, and it looked like he was going to attack Seth Rollins, but I'm with everybody else. I think sooner or later, Drew and KO are going to forge first. It's going to take some time for Seth Rollins to come around and be like, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck everybody else. Fuck this. Fuck the fans. No one cares. No one's listening. And it's on site. So it makes you wonder which part of Roman's bloodline is going to pretty much assemble, because this is basically like an Avengers movie. They all show up, handle their business, go their own separate way until they get the phone call again. So we'll definitely keep our eyes posted on that, because I have a feeling January 6th, that shit is about to go down. And I will be there live to see that, and I can't wait for that.
That's what's up.
Next, we have the United States Championships Finals. Chelsea Green, Michin. I was okay with either one winning, but I felt like Chelsea Green was the right woman to win. So she got the win. She got the fireworks. And the hometown of her husband um, used to be Zack Ryder. Now it's Matt Cardona. So if she gets the dub, Mike D, what you think? Did WWE make the right move in having Chelsea Green, or were you part of the 1,000% that wanted Michin to get the championship?
I definitely wanted Chelsea Green to win. If it went either way, I wouldn't have been mad, but I definitely think that she deserved it. She's definitely put in the work. The only thing that I wish that they would bring Samantha Irvin back so she could do her intro again when she comes to the ring. That would have been dope to hear Irvin, announce her as the United States champion and doing the whole thing. But yeah, I think she's gonna do real good as the United States champion. But it's gonna be interesting to see how long her and Piper Niven stay together. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like now Piper gonna be like, okay, I'm pretty much your sidekick. You the champion. I need my opportunity. So be on the lookout for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that man. I can't wait for that. I don't know how long Piper Niven is gonna be here, her bodyguard, but it remains to be seen. Mo, what you think about Chelsea Green finally after all these years getting her just due?
Your fellow Canadian.
I know, right? You got to represent those beeves. They made the right call. She has the best stage presence. She's funny on the mic, off the mic. She's got good skills. So I think they had to go in that direction, especially for the first United States champion, someone you can remember. And nothing against her opponent, but there's really no presence there. She would be a great fighting champion, but Chelsea Green is Chelsea Green, so it was a no-brainer.
Yeah. All I know is hopefully this turns into a rivalry where maybe Mia Yim chases her for that championship, but I did think a heel should have won that title first, so that way the babyface can start chasing as the other way around. So I'm happy for Chelsea because the last time she was there, she got fired. She came back. She got injured. I think she messed up her nose or something. And Vince fired her just like that, and she was gone. Went to TNA, made her name for herself, and literally came back like a year late, almost a year ago to the day. So I'm happy I'm really happy for her. John, what you think about Chelsea Green? You happy with the win, or did you think that Michin should have been the one that got the belt?
Nah, I'm just kidding. Nah, I was happy with Chelsea. I ain't gonna lie. My West Coast bias was all for Michin. And but both of them were deserved it. And I'm glad that it was two true mid-carders competing. I know some people I know we had this conversation trail with guests in the past. So shout out to our guests who came on during our women's panel. Shout out to Meg, shout out to Minx, shout out Mix Mayhem, shout out to Final Boss Lady, shout out to Leslie, and acknowledge the dynasty. And obviously the push was have a veteran. And obviously these are two veterans, but I know there was some who had that push for Bailey. Our girl Lena, she wanted to push for Naomi. But I think they got it right because not saying the belt is beneath Bailey and Naomi, but they're champs. They're champs. They're former world champs. And Chelsea and Michin have not gotten to be not gotten to be champs in WWE. I know they both were champs in TNA, and it's kind of crazy how their careers their paths just end up taking the same direction after they leave WWE. They go reinvent themselves in smaller promotions in the indies, and they come back, and now they're wrecking shop, and they get this moment on national TV on a Saturday night to make history. And when I hear Michin in that interview backstage and on the digital segment with Jackie Redmond and Rosenberg, she's not done. And I can't wait to see how they build Chelsea Green's run. Obviously, the whole Piper Niven dynamic is going to be interesting because you think about when Piper Niven just bullied herself into being her tag team partner when Sonya Deville went down with the knee injury. And
That's true.
And now Chelsea is a champ, and Piper Niven is pretty much a higher is just hired muscle right now. But eventually, Piper's gonna have eyes for gold, and I don't know what they're gonna go, but it's bound to happen eventually. But it was a good night, Chelsea Green.
And I say one thing, I think they made the right decision. And like what you said when people were saying that Naomi or Bailey should win it, I definitely agree that it's beneath them. And I think that all that Naomi and Bailey would have done if they would have been the U.S. champion would just beat all the mid-carders, and that would have just, you know what I'm saying, kind of like took their spotlight away. So I think they did the right thing by putting it on Chelsea Green, or even if she didn't win on Mi Shin, and just have it develop it as the workhorse women's championship, just like they did the Intercontinental title back in the day.
Plus,
plus
Naomi's got another storyline too, so you can't have her winning this championship. There's another storyline for her.
Yeah, I had those two in the finals, but I have said in previous episodes that the only way I would have been okay with Bailey winning the championship is if it was part of Naomi's heel turn as being one of the accomplices of Jade Cargill's attack. So I pretty much had Bailey be the champion, and then she finds out Naomi has something to do with it. Naomi turns heel. Naomi goes after Bailey. Heel Naomi takes the title off of Bailey. Boom, you go from there. That's the only way I would have been happy with Bailey winning the championship. Other than that, I called it from the beginning that it had to, since the brackets came out, it had to be Mi-Shin and Chelsea Green, because the rivalry they had in TNA and the fact they brought it to WWE, had that very entertaining dumpster match. And I've been saying it since Chelsea Green and Mi-Shin came back. Let these girls go. They really can. They really can throw hands, and they finally let them go in that dumpster match. I thought that dumpster match was dope. It was cool. It was a little physical. It was still funny at the same time because, Chelsea Green is funny. She's pretty much the female R-Truth of WWE right now. It's like nothing this woman can't do that isn't funny. Right. She's done everything she's been told by the higher office and never complained. So
and
this was her. Go ahead.
And Chelsea Green before she even signed with WWE, she was on Tough Enough on 2015, 2016, something like that.
Yep.
Totally, I forgot about that. So I saw the clip the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, when she's in that T-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was WWE first. She was in NXT. So she's literally we all knew she belonged in WWE, but Vince didn't know what to do with her, so she left, came back, and that's usually how it is nowadays. Sometimes you have to leave the company, reinvent yourself, and by divine intervention, Vince McMahon was out of power, Triple H resumed power, and brought back everyone that was unceremoniously fired for no apparent reason. So he had that list of people he was rehired. I'm glad that both of them women were eventually on that list.
Amen.
Speaking of list, Io Shirai, I'm still gonna call it Io Shirai, even though they call it Io Sky now. Challenge Liv Morgan. Yeah, I do Io, but Shirai is still Shirai. They even if you go on WWE Shop, she has two separate categories for merch: Io Sky and Io Shirai. So it's still Io Shirai to me. So she challenged Liv Morgan for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Io put in a hell of a good fight, busted up Liv Morgan's nose a little bit, but she ultimately failed, and we now know that Liv Morgan will face Rhea Ripley at Raw's premiere. I have a theory on how this is going to plan out for Io, but first I'm going to go with Mike. What did you think about Io and Liv Morgan match?
It was a pretty good match. I kind of, there we go. I kind of figured that Liv was going to win. You know, they had some pretty good moves, had some pretty good spots, and
Is that tripping? It's tripping you out. It's tripping you out.
You're confusing people, dog.
Go ahead.
It's all good, but yeah, it was a pretty good match to have on TV for Saturday night's main event. I didn't expect Io Sky to win this match. It was definitely a nice setup for Liv and Rhea for Monday Night Raw, but it was cool.
Mo, what'd you think about Liv Morgan winning the match, and how do you think this rivalry with Rhea Ripley is gonna play out? Because it has to end eventually.
I hope it ends soon. The match was good on Saturday. It was basically to warm her up for Rhea Ripley, but it has to end because there's nothing really more they can do with it. So Dom was already stolen. They've already gone back and forth. So something's got to give. Obviously, it seems like Rhea's going to win the title on the premiere on Netflix. But yeah, it was just a placeover, really. So good match, but you know what it is. You knew what the outcome was going to be.
Yeah, exactly. John, what was your thoughts on the Morgan's match at Saturday night's main event, and pretty much Rhea Ripley next in line?
It's time. It's over. It's time. I mean, it was pretty typical. I thought it was a good match, first of all, because I think Io puts on bomb matches. You know, eventually she'll get gold back around her waist in the future. But we all know where this is going. And then obviously they pretty much solidified it on Saturday night where Rhea Ripley comes out and her and Liv Morgan have that face off. We saw what happened today at the kickoff. We'll probably get into that later, so we're not going to spoil that. But we all know when Rhea Ripley came out Monday night, said, you know, pretty much let it be known, she's coming back for what she really felt like she never lost, honestly. When she lost at SummerSlam, it was because of Dom. When she lost at Bad Blood, it was because of Raquel Rodriguez. Now it's time to overcome the obstacles and get what she rightfully earned and didn't lose it because of any shenanigans. She lost it because she was injured. So she feels like that belt should still be hers, and that's where it should be. She is the champion. I was listening to a lot of spaces yesterday, fellas. Shout out to Black Wrestling. I was listening to their spaces, and obviously there's a lot of people like you guys all say, we all agree, they're tired of the storyline, they're tired of this rivalry, because obviously when you look at the Raw roster on the women's side, it's kind of lopsided compared to SmackDown. SmackDown's pretty much, there's more depth on SmackDown than it is on Raw. Raw pretty much got the mid-carders, which we're seeing in the Intercontinental Tournament, and obviously it's Liv and it's Rhea, and the field, as somebody pretty much said it, because obviously Becky's gone. We expect when Charlotte Flair comes back, she's going back to SmackDown, and Bianca's over at SmackDown, Jade's at SmackDown, Naomi, Bayley. There's not enough star power on the women's division. There's a lot of grinders, there's a lot of hard fighters, a lot of workers there, but there's not a lot of A-listers in the women's division that can contend for the women's world title right now.
Yeah, and that pretty much why the transfer portal will officially take place literally the first week of the new year. So hopefully all our concerns about the women's division of Raw will be solved, because a whole lot of these females are getting moved, and plus some NXT call-ups. So my theory about Io, if I want to see everybody's face when I give this theory. Put the camera back real quick for me. So I don't think it's over with Io. My theory is the way, if you guys notice, heading into Saturday night's main event when Io and Rhea had that stare down. So we are when they book stare downs like that, that means something's coming later on the horizon. So right. I think that Io took this loss. Rhea's obviously going to get her title back on the premiere of Raw, because you're not going to have the marquee, the face of the women's division, lose a championship match on the premiere on a major platform that's worldwide. So Rhea's going to win. Io's heading to the Royal Rumble, and I think Io is going to win the Rumble.
Wow.
And pretty much challenge Rhea Ripley for the World Heavyweight title. Why? Because between now and Elimination Chamber, Tiffany Stratton is going to cash in and become WWE Champion. And we all know when Charlotte Flair gets back, Charlotte Flair is going to want gold. She's not going to want the mid-card gold. She's going to want that top-tier gold. And if she's not in the Elimination Chamber, I think she's going to somehow, some way challenge for that WWE Women's Championship, and she's going to face Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. So I got Io winning the Rumble, and she's going to go on, and she's going to headline against Rhea. I could be wrong. They could go with Bianca, but I think Bianca's going to be, for some reason, I think Bianca's going to be tied up with Jade, and maybe Naomi's going to be tied up with Bayley. I just have Io. It's going to be Io's time again. I think she's going to have the Women's World Championship, and she's going to be that workhorse for the heavyweight, while either Zoe Stark or Lyra Valkyria is going to be the workhorses for that Women's IC title, because I did not have Zoe Starks winning that match. That was not on my bingo card. I thought for sure it was going to be Raquel, but that's going to be an interesting finals if it is Zoe Stark and Lyra Valkyria. So what do you got? Mo? What do you think about that theory? Do you see Io winning the Rumble?
That's it. That's interesting. I didn't until you brought it up. But I'm trying to figure out, like you mentioned Charlotte. I was thinking maybe Charlotte makes her return at the Rumble, or even the man herself, Becky Lynch. Now, I don't know the timetable for her return, but I just feel like one of those two might be in line to win the Rumble and then challenge whichever championship they want to go for. Charlotte, I think you're right about Charlotte going for the Prestige Championship. That's her calling, and her facing Tiffany at Mania. That'd be a hell of a main event, or a women's main event. So that I'm not mad about that, but I don't know. I don't know where Io falls right now. It's hard to say, because one minute they're elevating her, and then she lost. So is she in the back of the line trying to deal with that whole damage control situation, which I think they should just break up, because there's no power to them anymore. Yeah. So it remains to be seen, but I'm not mad about your theory, man.
Mike, what you think? Who do you got? If not Io, who do you got winning the Women's Royal Rumble?
First of all, I want to say I feel sorry for Io Sky, because it's like damage control is like the female version of the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oof.
Oh!
Everybody is always injured. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Io Sky right here. She's like the Tyrese Maxey of the group. You know what I'm saying?
I can't wait to hear who's
always injured. Embiid is always injured. Dakota Kai is injured. Paul George is always injured. So I feel sorry for her, because every time they try to bring that group together, they always get injured, and she's always in a mix of some type of shuffle.
Oscar injured too.
Oh, you gotta be careful. Yeah. Gotta be careful with the Sixer slander, Mike. Our girl Bella's a Sixers fan.
Oh, sorry for your loss, but continue. You got the Eagles right now. Relax.
But
yeah, you got the Pigeons, man. It's cool.
I heard I had read something that Naomi might be the favorite to win the Rumble. I don't know how that's gonna go with like all the stories with Jade and then Bayley, but I heard that she might she was a favorite to win the Rumble. And don't rule out Becky Lynch either, because I could see her coming back to Raw when they moved over to Netflix too.
Yep.
Before Trail, you go, I want to say this to Mike and the Mo. So last week, shout out to our girls, Nessa and Angel Rose. And I'm going to give Trail a lot of credit for this, because he came up with the theory. So last week, y'all, if you saw the show, we had our girls, Angel Rose and Nessa, who's in the comments from Humble Rose, and they do a segment on their podcast called Rose Court. And Terrell was on there last week, obviously after the whole New Day fiasco happened with Big E. And we gave our theories on who we think was responsible for Jade Cargill. Now, you bring up Naomi, and Mo brought it up, that's why she shouldn't be United States champion. I think we all kind of were in agreement that Naomi has something to do with it. but we all have different theories on how it went down. My theory was personally, she's guilty, as in she's like liable, but her hands aren't clean, aren't dirty, aren't the ones who did the crime. She had a hired gun, and I said those two hired guns could be in the transfer window in a matter of days. It was a team that won last night on NXT that's making a lot of noise, and they've been coming at a lot of teams. And I think the Meta Girls had something to do with Jade, especially like Trail points out when Lash and Jade kept having those face-offs during Crown Jewel. It was some sisters throwing some hands, man. And I think they might be the new BAD 2.0, but I'll let Trail lead the lead quarterback on that situation.
So I wish I would handle them. But anyway, I don't know. Like it could be them because the way they won last night, it seems like it was like they're getting ready to leave NXT. It's like Jakari and Lash Legend. They look like they're on their way to the transfer portal, and they will be making their debuts either the first or second week of January, wherever that may be. But I'm still gonna say it's Bianca and Naomi, because if you look at the evidence, and when everyone called this, and Nessa was definitely the first one who called it, that Nick Aldis was gonna threaten to relinquish those tag team titles, that Naomi just stepped in like, hey, whoa, easy.
Mm-hmm.
Let me do it. Let me take care of it. Bianca was quickly like, yeah, she could do it. She could run with us. And, Nick was like, all right, you guys got a championship match next week. Now, if John's theory holds up, then I can see Naomi screwing Bianca Belair out of those tag team titles. And, they drop them to whoever they drop them to. But if they wind up winning if they wind up retaining those tag team titles, I'm going to hold on to my theory that those two are in cahoots together, because eventually Jade Cargill's going to come back and she's going to be like, all right, appreciate you, Naomi. Now, can I have my title back? And boom, that's where we're going to find out, it is what it is. I want to say Charlotte. Someone mentioned Charlotte as possibly the one who took out Jade, but no disrespect to Charlotte, but power for power, I don't think she can drop Jade like that, like Lash Legend could, or like Bianca Belair could. So I'm ruling out Charlotte. I think Charlotte's gonna come back solo and go straight to gold. She ain't got time to be in the middle of black people business, if you catch my drift. So she got no business meddling in that. So I think for sure it's gonna be Bianca and Naomi, but we'll see what happens this week. I think the championship match is this week, right, John? Like it's this Friday, right?
They're Friday night. They're facing Nia Jax and Candice LeRae in a tag team match.
Yeah, they ain't winning that. Nia ain't winning that. I think Tiffy time might have something to do with that, but they're not winning that at all. Pivot back to the WWE Saturday Night Main Event, the triple threat match for the World Heavyweight title: Finn Balor, Gunther, and Damian Priest. That match was solid. I enjoyed that match. Gunther finally got the win. He pretty much pinned Finn Balor, and then people was making fun of Damian Priest because supposedly he botched the powerbomb on the steel steps, which it wasn't really his fault because the dude is 6'9". Like he was just a little bit too close to the stage, so cut the man some slack. He didn't botch that one this time. He's too tall. That's not the problem. So Mo, what you think about the match? Gunther, he won. Looks like he got his mojo back. He's feeling himself as the ring general again, right?
He is for that very reason. It was a great match. I liked how it was Finn that got pinned, because you're going to see the downfall of him in the Judgment Day. So that was great to see, because you saw it on Monday as well with them losing the tag titles. So it just fits with that storyline. But it was a great match. Lots of energy, lots of emotion. You could see the hatred between Finn and Damian Priest, which still continues and holds up. And Gunther is, every time I see him wrestle, I get more amazed. He's got mad skill. I never thought he would amount to this, but it was great. It was a fantastic match, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, he's got a chance to be a future multi-time champion, or he could be one of those guys that don't have that many title reigns, but each reign is going to be like dominant because the man has been champion damn near 90% of his existence in the company, whether it's UK, regular NXT, IC title, now the World Heavyweight title. The man is dripped in gold no matter every time he drop a title, he gets one at least a year or so later somewhere else. So it's amazing. Mike D, what you think about Gunther getting that mind, in my opinion, the monumental win over Finn and Damian?
Excuse me. Oh yeah,
Access.
I didn't expect him to lose. And the triple threat match, adding Finn in there, you know, it made sense so he could take the pin. I think they high on Damian Priest. They didn't want him to take that pin. Yeah, Gunther is a beast, man. I think that, and what's cool about him is like he's like that what's the word I'm looking for? He's that heel. You know what I'm saying? He's like just that guy that's just come out there, do his job, beat some people up, retain his title, and he's on about his business. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was a pretty good match, probably the best match of the night.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, John, what you think, man? Did that trip match put on the show for you, or like what would you rate that?
Oh yeah, it did. It was a banger. I'll shout out to Gunther. I mean, him and Damian Priest. It seemed like whenever they just get in the ring, they just gonna throw hands. It's gonna be a brawl because obviously styles make fights. Damian Priest, street fighter. Gunther, your traditional like Greco-Roman. You're a real like wrestling type student, academy type guy. And then obviously Finn Balor was the wild card, and clearly this is going, as Mo said, this is about to start the pretty much the decline and pretty much the end of the Judgment Day, because the Judgment Day had a real horrible 48 hours. Finn losing at Saturday Night Live, then Raquel loses in the Intercontinental Tournament, and then obviously Finn, they lose to the Roar Raiders, with the exception of Liv pretty much losing the EO, which was pretty much, you know, fait accompli. They would have been pretty much over for the weekend, and in a matter of 19 days, the Judgment Day is really going to be passed out of gold.
Yeah, and to Nestle's point, Finn just didn't listen to himself because he's been preaching for the past couple of like weeks, if not months. You know, you listen to Finn and you win, and every time he kept saying that, they kept taking L's after L's after L's, and Liv is just looking at him with her championship is like, hey, you know, we listened to you, so what happened? Basically. So I think this Judgment Day, eventually there's so much animosity between Finn and Liv, Dom, Raquel, and little Carlito, just that little child who don't know any better and just sitting there watching his own unfold, thinking everybody's just friends. And I don't know where he's going to go, because when they break up, I'm pretty sure someone's going to take custody of him, right? But
he can go beg Rey Mysterio for membership back into the LWO. Or you go
maybe.
Or you can
go to NXT.
Is that going to dissolve? Like, what's going on with that LWO thing? I think it's kind of past its peak as well.
It's past its peak, just like Legado del Fantasma past its peak. It's like when they first got these factions together, I was excited because you had like Final Testament, you had Legado del Fantasma, you still kind of had the New Day, you had Alpha Academy, you had all these factions, and not one of them with the war. Yet you also had like the Hurt Business 2.0. I think they really dropped the ball in all those factions they had, because now it's like either they're gone, they're splitting up. So if they're gonna split them all up, it's best they do so, because they haven't done nothing. There hasn't been no guerrilla warfare with any of the factions, and the only faction that went to war was two bloodlines, which all in the same family, minus two white guys. so it's like that was the only warfare that went down. So and that's a perfect segue by saying warfare, because that brings me to the main event. The WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens. We saw something that a lot of people have been speculating and rumored was going to happen. Cody Rhodes did a little heelish tactic and beat KO with a crossroads on a steel chair. Mind you, the steel chair that Kevin Owens brought into the ring. So, and he pretty much got his ass whooped when the cameras went off, because Kevin Owens hit him with that spike power driver. Now, I don't know if you guys seen the clip, but when he was getting stretchered out, you can hear fans say, "You deserve it."
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah.
And telling Kevin Owens to hit him one more time. So is this the start of this heel Cody? Because I don't think the world is ready for that Cody that we saw in TNA, that Cody we saw at Bullet Club. I don't think the fans are ready for that. Mike, what you think? Has the seeds been officially planted with that spike power driver?
I think so, but I think we'll really see it once this Christmas break, once all the shows that have been taped and they go back live into the new year. If Cody is out Monday Night Raw when they go to Netflix and he gets booed in that arena, then it's gonna be time to start possibly turning him heel. Once the fans start booing you, then it's that time to start planting those seeds.
Yep, Mo, what you think? Are we on the path of the black hair Cody Rhodes?
You mean the actual American Nightmare? Because how are you a nightmare? How are you a nightmare and you're smiling and kissing babies and shaking hands? It just
hey, man, he's
work.
a politician. He's a politician. They do it all the time.
My mistake. I quite possibly could be. I feel like, though, because of the big three that are coming, that might take a step back until that's all settled, and then maybe during that confrontation he does actually turn heel, because then there's more boos. He has to basically use chairs. He has to use the tactics that the heels are using. So quite possibly that is where more of the boos come in, because he's got to resort to being a type of heel. So yeah, it's coming. Definitely seeds were planted, but not just yet. I still feel there's got to be a big time war, so to speak, with the big three, and with Cody, Roman, and whomever else they're going to get to join that fight. And then quite possibly once he has to resort to heel tactics, sorry. Yeah, then he's definitely turning heel, and we actually get the real American Nightmare. Yeah.
Before I get to John, I'm gonna say this. I do agree. They're not gonna do this right away, because right now there's it's gonna pretty much fuck up every plan they got going. So I think this is gonna be a long build. More and more people are gonna start turning it back on Cody, or Cody's gonna start feeling like, I came back to save you guys from Roman Reigns. You guys wanted me to beat Roman Reigns. I did. And now I wouldn't be surprised if you bring social media involved. You guys are tweeting that my reign is this and I'm not really up to par. And then you telling Kevin Owens to pretty much end my life by telling him to power drive me one more time and telling me I deserve it. I think that official heel turn, we probably gonna get it by SummerSlam. Because right now, like you said, he's gonna go through the motions right now. He's gonna ride it out. Pause. Him and The Rock, they're gonna take care of their business there. And I think whatever happens after that, that's where it's gonna start messing with him mentally. And I think by the summer of 2025, we're gonna have that heel Cody, and he might turn on Roman. Because if you look at it, there's only one true babyface in the WWE, and that's Roman Reigns. And as long as Cody Rhodes is a babyface, he's gonna be second fiddle to Roman. So why not be that biggest heel to Roman Reigns? John, what do you think about the Kevin Owens Cody situation, and where you think the real American Nightmare will show up?
This has been a polarizing discussion because obviously, Cody's polarizing, especially with Bloodline fans, with wrestling fans in general. Trell, we was in the chat yesterday during Humble Roses, and we heard what the other Nessa was saying about Cody's reign. I heard the same thing when I was in the spaces for Black Wrestling. A lot of people just felt like, okay, the reign, it shouldn't have took this long for us to find a meaningful adversary for Cody to put against his reign. You think about his reign. It started with AJ Styles. And then obviously that he beat AJ at Backlash. AJ goes away. Then there's Logan Paul and Saudi. Then AJ comes back and they have that I Quit match. Then obviously he teams up with Randy and KO to take on the Bloodline. Loses the solo. Bloodline rules at SummerSlam. Roman comes back. And that's when everything was nuked from there. Then he wants to try to feel like he's doing a data boy saying, Kevin, you deserve this. And him and Kevin kick off Bash in Berlin. And then obviously he teams up with Roman Bad Blood. And obviously ever since Roman's gotten back, obviously it shows where the hierarchy is. And as far as with his reign, obviously a lot of people felt that his reign has been pretty much boring. It's not, and don't feel genuine. Now, as far as when will we see the heel Cody? I've been saying this for months, Trell. You've been we've been having this talk constantly. Be careful what you ask for. I'm just gonna tell you right now. I know there's some people like our girl Megan who's advocated for it. I've heard people in other spaces advocate for it. We're advocating. I know we expect it to come. Pause. But be careful what you ask for, because we saw how much of a savage Cody was as a heel, whether it was a TNA. Trell brings up his time with Bullet Club. Obviously, you go back to some of his time in WWE, even when he was a mentor at NXT, when he basically ripped Naomi for having a big butt, which was like, come on, man, what are you doing? But be careful. I expect it to happen after Mania for sure. Probably, like Trell said, going into SummerSlam, but I think sometime during the summer, we could be seeing the summer of Evil Cody. What up, Circle of Debate? Good to see you, brothers, West Coast in the building. But yeah, it's happening. And I don't think he'll be at the Raw on Netflix here in Inglewood. I think we won't see him till the SmackDown after that. And then I think we're going to see anything is on the table.
Yeah. Who knows, man? We always try to figure out what's going to happen, try to do a prediction, and Triple H does a complete out of nowhere. Like, hey, let's throw this fastball in here. You guys not gonna see that one coming. So ain't no telling when it's gonna happen. Yeah, he's been swerving the moment he took over. It's like one after another. This pretty much all of 2024 has been nothing but swerves. And I told John since the summer I gave up on predicting bloodline scenarios, because once I thought I had it down, he was like, nope. We're gonna go this way. So anxious to see how this is what happened, because now Kevin Owens is running around with the Eagle WWE Championship, which, per Triple H, he told Cody Rhodes that it was a one-time thing, and it's been on record that Cody Rhodes has been trying to bring back the Eagle belt for the longest. So it looks like it might not be a one-time thing, because since Kevin Owens has hijacked the title and pretty much crashed the Raw kickoff this morning with the title, something tells me there's potentially might be a ladder match looming for both these titles. And if that's the case, if they do merge these two titles, I'm wondering how they're going to make the new Eagle belt, because I know they're really not going to go back old school with that championship after pretty much making new designs for every other title. So I'm looking forward for that, because Kevin Owens is the uncrowned champ. So like John said, be careful what you wish for, because if it goes the way it's going to go, Cody Rhodes is gonna make Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk. No, actually, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and Kevin Owens. They're gonna make these guys actually look like baby faces in the long run, because if you look at the story that they're telling, all three of these guys got actual points. It has nothing to do with jealousy. It has nothing to do with you got what I want, screw you, blah, blah, blah. All three of these guys genuinely have reasons for doing what they're doing. And Cody Rhodes, I mean, I said it before, he's like a politician. You know, he's on camera, you know, smiling like Mo said, kissing babies, but what's he really doing on that tour bus? Like, what's he planning? What's he got going on? So shout out to Dale. I know that's probably Dale, or shout out to the whole BS and Beer Media crew over there. So everyone's saying KO is right. So we're gonna find out when and where that's gonna be proven. Cody's a terrible guy.
Yo, Dale.
I mean, Mike, definitely Dale. But
I think my bashing Radio Raheem, man.
Yeah, he's Captain Cookout, that's for sure. Like, ain't no way. Because I said it the night he won, when he beat Kevin Owens with that steel chair. I'm like, Cody Rhodes is definitely one of us. Cody Raheem Rhodes is definitely one of us, because ain't no Negro on this planet that wouldn't have done that. So he has a free pass for life to a cookout and all the beaver tails in Canada, I'm assuming. So
especially those landing strip ones. Oof.
Yeah, wow, man.
True. I wonder if Brandy ever been to Canada.
They make you very oozy. I'll just put it that way.
So, gonna go over to Raw a little bit. Whoa, that's an awful segue after talking about Monday Night Raw. A little bit of Monday Night Raw. CM Punk comes out, you know, he's pretty much, to paraphrase, he knows Seth Rollins is gonna interrupt him, so he's pretty much basically begging Seth Rollins to interrupt him. And Seth Rollins finally comes out. They had this little exchange back and forth, and man, they got down to business, and the fight was on in the crowd, backstage, until Adam Pearce made it official that, you know, January 6th, Netflix, these two are going to throw hands. So it's going to be a 3-hour show. So I'm guessing that match is going to be the main event. That was confirmed this morning at the kickoff at WWE headquarters that CM Punk and Seth Rollins will main event Monday Night Raw in that 3-hour slot. So my guess is the Bloodline Tribal Combat is probably going to either kick off Monday Night Raw or be the main event for maybe hour 1 or hour 2. But I'm looking forward to that fight, because any feud that CM Punk has been in the past year has been golden. Him and Drew McIntyre arguably could be feud of the year. And now you're going to kick off 2025 with Seth Rollins. So I think this isn't going to be a run and done match. This is probably going to come to an end at WrestleMania. I have a feeling. I think Seth Rollins might win this one. I think both of them are going to be in the elimination chamber, and someone's going to eliminate the other. And I think that third and final match will be at WrestleMania. And I think, if you ask me, that's worthy enough to headline and main event night 1. Because anything that the Bloodline is in is going to headline night 2. And that includes The Rock. So that's how I see it. Mo, what are your thoughts, predictions on Seth Rollins and CM Punk possibly feud of 2025?
Yeah, it's the start of their feud, right? This is going to go to WrestleMania, because CM Punk has been sidelined with injuries. Like every big time matchup he gets hurt. So this, hopefully, knock on wood, hopefully he can stay healthy, and it's the start of a really good feud. I think this is going to be a banger. Definitely the main event. It has to be the main event, because the Bloodline feud, that would be a great kickoff for the Ulafala. But this is definitely going to be the main event because there's more story around it. And again, it's going to lead into, other things that are coming our way. So yeah, I can't wait for this. And, Seth Rollins and CM Punk, they always put on bangers. So I'm excited. Can't wait.
Mike, what you think about Seth Rollins and CM Punk?
Hey, I love this story because you could tell in the promos that these two clearly don't like each other for real. Like just the way they just been going, just headbutting and just even the punches they've been throwing at each other. These two don't like each other, and but it's been good TV. And like you said, I think it's gonna go, like you guys said, it's gonna probably go on to WrestleMania. But I'm still interested to see because the bloodline is gonna play a story in this some way somehow. I think Drew is gonna play a story. Kevin Owens. It's gonna be interesting. I definitely think that Seth could probably, like you said, possibly pull it off on Raw when they go to Netflix. But I'm definitely interested to see this match.
Do you think someone from the bloodline distracts Seth Rollins in that first matchup, and that's the start of his heel turn? Because he said he respects Sammy, he respects Jay. Do you think something happens along the way with that matchup that is the trickle effect?
I think one of those two are gonna probably like do something to kind of like piss Seth off, like you said, maybe cost him a match or something like that. And I think that's going to probably be the start of his heel turn. And I think that this is going to be the faction that forms. And we talked about the Cody heel turn. Do you think that Cody could possibly join those guys?
I think that's a different story. I think he will align with Roman and CM Punk. And then afterwards, when that's all said and done, and then into Mania, that's when Cody's story really starts.
Yeah, I'm not going to rule out the possibility that maybe later on down the road, Cody and Dwayne work out some type of deal either. But everyone's saying that Drew McIntyre is pretty much The Rock's hired assassin because, Solo, has failed to really take down Roman's bloodline. So who better than the man that he pretty much signed a multi-million-dollar contract to and gave him a brand new sword to seal the deal? So him being Rock's hired gun, that sounds more intriguing, more enticing, because he could be like, well, they're not doing this right, so I'm going to send you out there. Kevin Owens is already, I'm pretty sure Kevin Owens is going to be on board. Now, it's up to you to get Seth Rollins involved. And I think for Sammy and Jay to get involved, I think Drew will have to get involved in that match with Punk and
that makes sense.
Rollins, which will cause Sammy to probably come out or Jay to come out to try to thwart it. Rollins is going to be like, what the hell are you doing here, blah, blah, blah. And then boom, he takes that first pinfall loss. And then being a hothead Seth Rollins that's not going to sit too well. So little things like that, I agree. I think Drew McIntyre is going to have his prints all over it. Paul, John, what you think about CM Punk and Seth Rollins, man? Where do you see this going?
The moment he called this dude Phil, I was like, sign me the F up. Well, I've been signed up anyway for last year. But once he went Phil, I was like, oh, nah, those fighting words. You went Gov? I'm like, okay. And then Punk didn't waste no time. He give a damn if he had on some Jordan 1s. He leaped over that barricade and was like, you know what, let's bro. I'm in on this because this is going to be one of those rivalries we talk about on Rivals maybe like 5 or 10 years down the, like 5 years down the line when CM Punk's career is over and they doing trying to find new seasons for Rivals. We'll definitely be getting a lot of rivalries out of this year alone, and this will be one of them. We saw what happened. Me and Terrell was watching what happened today at the kickoff. Seth came in there with no mic. It was like, I'm just gonna pretty much eat. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna walk off. And this main eventing, the first Raw on Netflix, is gonna be huge. And then you throw in this other little teaser is they both still want to be World Heavyweight Champion. Punk made it clear. When I came back, the reason I more so went at you was because you had something I wanted. I wanted the World Heavyweight title. You don't have that no more. And remember, he did call out Gunther right before Drew McIntyre attacked him, which set up the Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood. So, and then Gunther pulls up unexpectedly today, right before they come out. So basically, this could be positioning themselves to see who's going to take on Gunther for the World Heavyweight title, and definitely they're setting up a big match at WrestleMania in Vegas. Whew.
Okay, where does this guy come into play?
I mean, I was just about to get to that. I think Gunther is going to defend the championship at Elimination Chamber. So
well, that's a disrespectful picture, dog. I'm sorry. Man. I'm sorry, man. I'm not a fan of me coming out, dog. Why, man?
Why not? That was the height of his career. But I think Gunther is going to defend that championship in Elimination Chamber. So you can easily put John Cena in that chamber match because, I mean, it's John Cena, so he really doesn't need a reason to be in that match, because he could easily just come back and be like, I want a shot at the championship. I still want a shot at 16. Or I think that he might not be in the title picture outside the Royal Rumble. He might come back to a feud. I mean, at this point, he's going to be putting people over all year, whether it's win or lose. So I don't know exactly where Cena falls into it, but I know he's going to be at Raw, and we're going to find out exactly where he lands as far as that goes. But I'm pretty sure he's definitely going to be in the Royal Rumble. That's hands down. And if he's the final 4 or final 6 or final 5 people in that Royal Rumble, I think he's probably going to be in the chamber. He's probably not going to win the chamber. And if he does, John probably like the only one that would be happy about it. Because he really doesn't need 16 or needs to break 16. But that's a different topic for another show. But I do have everyone in the Elimination Chamber: Finn, Priest, Punk, Rollins, Cena. You throw Cena in there, and of course Gunther. So that's 6 people right there. So I think that's the direction it's gonna go. Because the WWE Championship, I think that championship is going to be busy being defended at the Elimination Chamber. So that's pretty much, to answer your question, John, that's how I see Cena. He's going to be in the chamber, or he's going to have a feud, but I would be surprised if he's in the chamber.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going. Well, he'll be in the building Monday. He'll be in the building January 6th as well, and we starting to see how this farewell tour is going to start.
I got a question. Could y'all see WWE doing something where they give him a short title run to surpass Ric Flair, just depending on what relationship they got with Flair?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it past him. I wouldn't. I mean, he literally could walk out of the Elimination Chamber as World Heavyweight Champion. And then that'll free up Gunther for maybe Brock Lesnar, because he's definitely not going back down to Intercontinental Championship, despite what people may think. He's not going in reverse. He's not going back down that way. He's going to stay at the top. He's the future face of the company. So if he doesn't walk out of Elimination Chamber World Heavyweight Champion, I would not be surprised if it is John Cena. Because then that'd be easy for him to have these matches throughout the year, because he doesn't have to be on Raw every day or whatever. If the championship gets moved to SmackDown through the transfer portal, he doesn't have to show up all the time. He can have the Roman Reigns treatment and show up, every couple of weeks. But, depending on what his schedule's like. which I hope not, because again, we need these championships on TV, but not everyone can be Roman Reigns. So that's but to answer your question, I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't. Um, Speaking of Intercontinental Championship, the freak athlete himself, Braun Breaker, defeated Ludwig Kaiser on Monday Night Raw. That match was good. I really liked that match. Ludwig Kaiser pretty much put himself on the map of being the future workhorse of the mid-card division of the main roster. And Braun Breaker, I mean, the guy is, we said this multiple times, he has the athleticism from his dad, but you can easily tell that's Scott Steiner's nephew. The man is intense. The man, he doesn't speak much. He walks around, he carries his business, he whoops someone's ass, and he leaves. But I think the star of that match was definitely Ludwig Kaiser, because ever since Gunther told him, be your own man, do what you got to do, he was like, yeah. Oh, well, hopefully it's not bad enough to make him drop the title, because we need that kid on the roster, because he's the future. I'll say it, he'll win the World Heavyweight Championship sooner rather than later. I think 2025 could be his year. It might be 2026, ain't no telling, but I think 2025 will be the year of the dog. All puns intended, because that man he has a skyrocket to him, and he's pretty much knocking down all doors. Start with you, Mike. What did you think about Braun Breaker's match with Ludwig Kaiser?
What up, just in time?
What up, though? What up? I think it was a pretty good match. I'm still tripping off that slap though from last week when Ludwig Kaiser slapped Braun Breaker. Like,
that was some whole shit.
Yeah, that was real disrespectful. But yeah, it was a pretty good match. Ludwig Kaiser is on his way to being like one of the top heels in the company. So yeah, pretty good match. Braun Breaker's doing a good job as the Intercontinental Champion, elevating the title, being the workhorse champion like the championship has always been. So yeah, as long as he keep doing this thing, man, Braun, this good big things for Braun.
Yep, agreed. Mo?
It was a great match. It's Ludwig Kaiser surprised me actually on Monday. He's always been a gifted wrestler, but he surprised me. He stepped up his game. It was a great match. I'm just wondering who's next for Braun. Like, are they going to continue this, or is it going to be a triple threat or because I don't feel like anyone's in his league right now for the Intercontinental title. So I'm trying to figure out who's next.
I think that's definitely Dale. Now that pretty much 100%. That's definitely Dale. The fact that someone said bring back Samantha Irvin, that's no doubt gotta be Dale. Shout out to Dale. Hopefully he's feeling better. To answer Mo's question, I think we're gonna find that out in the new year with this transfer portal, because if you think about it, he ran through almost everybody important on the Raw roster. So I think you go through the transfer portal, either you move him to SmackDown or he stays on Raw and some people come over. I can see him and what's that dude that's the leader of Legado del Fantasma?
Santos Escobar.
Yeah, Escobar. I can see some feuds with him. You can move Carmelo Hayes back over there. They can rekindle that match they had, those battles they had in NXT. Melo can be the one that maybe take the title from Braun Breaker down the road or something. Who knows? You got a lot of guys on SmackDown. You can bring them over, like LA Knight. You can bring LA Knight over there. There's a match with him and Braun Breaker right there. And who's to say who's getting called up from NXT that might want a shot with another shot at the IC title? So they're getting all these matches out the way now, because come the new year, everything's gonna get turned upside down. We still haven't seen the debut of Penta El Pentagon Jr. yet. That's coming. So we don't know what's going to happen, but he's going to have fresh new opponents after the new year. So I think this with him and Ludwig, I think this is over. He's already had the match with Sheamus. He's had at least 2 triple threat matches in his reign. So I think now he earned a week off. I wouldn't expect to see him next week, but it is a taped episode, so who knows? But they don't have, if you notice, Braun Breaker's not on TV much. And nowadays, I think that's a good thing because he's a special talent. He's a special attraction. So that fact that he's not on TV a lot, that helps him because we ain't got to worry about getting tired of him. So that, he shows up in a vignette here and there, backstage area, but the fact we don't see him, I think that's good. John, what did you think about Braun Breaker and probably the wrestler of the night, Ludwig Kaiser?
Good match, physical match. Now to Nessa's point, I did notice Braun was hurt in that shoulder because when he hit that super spear, he wasn't going 0 to 100 trail. He was I've been like this. He was going 0 to 60, which is saying something for him. But he didn't have the speed like he normally does when he's coming off the ropes. You could tell he was late. He was dealing with that shoulder, and obviously he got through the match. So you hope that it's not a serious injury, especially as we're getting ready for Mania season. And he's definitely going to be a guy we always look forward to seeing in the Rumble, especially after last year. Who just knew him replacing Brock Lesnar? We got a Brock Lesnar-esque performance out of Braun Breaker. And like you said, might be Rick's son, but he damn sure is Scotty's nephew. I mean, good God almighty. When I think the promo alone, he cut on Ludwig Kaiser, and he basically said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ludwig Kaiser, and I really suck." That is something Scott Steiner would say, dude. Scott saying that Big Papa Pump when they had thought about it in his heyday. But overall, match was a banger. This is all about Kaiser right now. We know where Braun's going. Braun's ascension is on its way. We already know. This is about Ludwig Kaiser, obviously, more so getting himself out of Gunther's shadow, because obviously it's just him and Gunther. We ain't got to rehash what happened with Giovanni Vinci, because that was some foul shit. But Kaiser is showing that he does have what it takes to be a regular mid-carder, a workhorse, and maybe one day we will be talking about him as a Intercontinental or United States champion. Our boy Justin Time from Circle Debate was saying he wouldn't mind him moving to SmackDown. I think that only happens that would happen maybe at the draft, and it has to happen after he pretty much turns his back on Gunther, and we see this Gunther face turn. But as of right now, I think he's fine on Raw, and he's going to be that hired gun that Gunther needs, just in case, he starts having some confidence issues. With
the transfer portal looming, I have a feeling they're not going to do the Ludwig Kaiser turn on Gunther, because Gunther didn't scold him. He just told him, "Hey, we all got to be better. You got to be better. I got to be better. Focus on you. Handle your business. I believe in you." So I think they might move Ludwig Kaiser to SmackDown, because SmackDown, you got to remember, they're trading networks, so SmackDown will be on USA. So some of these guys you see on Raw that's on USA, they might get moved to SmackDown and pretty much stay on USA. So I think a change of scenery for Ludwig would be good. We still might get the heel turn on Gunther if Gunther gets transferred over to SmackDown also. So we still might get that to John's theory. But right now, it's almost like they broke up Imperium without officially saying they broke up Imperium.
Yeah, and another reason why I could see Ludwig Kaiser going to SmackDown, because he's dating Tiffany Stratton. So,
bingo.
He's always getting Tiffy time, definitely.
he gonna make sure she's nearby at all times, getting that ticket time, and especially when she cashes in. Man, she's gonna get some of that Ludwig. If you catch what I'm saying.
and he learned clearly these dudes ain't loyal.
Yeah, I mean, if I wouldn't be surprised if Ludwig Kaiser gets transferred to the NXT.
Really?
Not Ludwig. Da Vinci. There you go.
Oh, Da Vinci. Yeah.
Vinci. I don't think whatever the issue with him
This
and Ludwig.
confirmed it, This confirmed it.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna have them on the same roster. And if they do, and if they cross paths, I'm pretty sure they're gonna have Ludwig beat the dog shit out of the Vinci. But I think Vinci's, if anything, they should probably transfer him to NXT because he's been taking L's since he got there. So at first I was excited for his debut. I'm like, all right, he's his own man. He got kicked out of Imperium. He's gonna go over here. Took that L to Apollo Crews. I'm like, huh. Took an L again next week. I'm like, all right, something's up because ain't no way in hell this dude's going. Vince McMahon is no longer here, so ain't no way this dude's gonna show up and take 2 L's in 2 weeks. His first 2 weeks. And come to find out, he tried to get at Tiffany Stratton, and I mean, that's a hell no. You don't get at someone else's girl, especially y'all work together. So I'm pretty sure that caused an issue, and it's your punishment. You get your ass whooped. So I would not be surprised if Vinci winds up on NXT because honestly, I think he should. He needs a character change anyway. And he needs to change the scenery because that's fucked up. You don't holler at your homie's girl, and y'all in the same crew. That's the funny part. I was telling John this year when I was walking around. Where was I going? I forgot. When we was going to Wale Mania. When he was going to Wale Mania, I literally walked by Imperium. Like I'm passing them. Like walking by, Gunther was with his now wife. Ludwig was with Tiffany Stratton, which at the time I didn't recognize her because let's be honest, I really wasn't watching NXT like that back then. So Tiffy walked right by me. I did not catch her. And Giovanni, he was with whatever girl he was with. So it's crazy that these guys hung out on the road. They was in NXT together. They was NXT UK together. And for him to go behind try to.
So what the hell?
I see what you did. I see what you did there, Nessa. Oh, no. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Because at first I'm like, no, she didn't like the crew, but I'm like, oh, yeah.
It's crazy because obviously the weekend is no longer the theme music for WrestleMania, but oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, there was about time that go anyway. I was getting tired of weekend anyway. Yes. But speaking, John, you mentioned earlier of stepping out of Gunther's shadow, which is a perfect segue to what I'm about to talk about next, and that is Ric Flair's shadow in the form of his daughter, Charlotte Flair. She is due to make a return anytime now. I thought everyone was reporting, everyone had the theory that she was going to show up at Saturday night's main event. I thought it was going to be at the Royal Rumble, but I forget that the Royal Rumble is all the way in February. So there's no way they're going to have her come back at the Rumble because that's way too far from here. And I just seen a post that she was at the PC training. So her return is imminent. I'm going to assume if it's not January 6th of Raw, it's that first SmackDown of the year, which would kick off the transfer portal anyway. She's going to come back. The question is, which Charlotte Flair are we getting, and who's our first target? because as of right now, Tiffany Stratton is not the world heavyweight the WWE Women's Champion. So I think Charlotte's gonna come back and she's gonna go straight to Nia Jax, because let's not forget, fellas, when Nia Jax got fired, the last image we saw of Nia Jax was when they had that little fight live on TV on Monday Night Raw. When they was literally swinging on each other, and something wasn't right, because one, it was awkward silence, and two, the way that they was going at it is like, wait, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? This ain't part of the plan. And it turns out that was a legit shoot fight that they was trying to have. So I could see them playing on that story that, because of me, you got fired and blah, blah, blah. So I think she's going to be the one. She's going to come back. She's going to have a match with Nia. And that's when the cash-in is going to happen. Mm-hmm. I don't know what pay-per-view that's going to happen. I don't know what show is going to happen. But Charlotte Flair is going to come back. She's going to take down Nia. And that's when Tiffany Stratton is going to get the big FU to Nia and Candice LeRae and cash in on that championship. Mo, what are your thoughts on Charlotte Flair? When do you think she's coming back? And who's her target, basically? Is it Jade? Is it Nia? Or
I think it's Nia. It has to be Nia at the end of the day because of what you just said. But that just makes it too easy, right? It just makes it really too easy.
It is Charlotte Flair.
It is Charlotte Flair, and I'm sure she. I'm not gonna go there. Pause. We're just.
Hey man, I know what you. Hey man.
Yeah, she's in pursuit of a championship. I feel like Nia's gonna dodge her though quite a bit. She's gonna send. What's that new girl she's aligned herself with the purple
Candice
hair?
LeRae.
Candice LeRae.
Yeah,
she looks like a purple treasure troll, but yeah.
She does. One of those brass dolls.
Yeah, exactly. I think she's gonna throw her and maybe even Tiffy until, like you said, they get into their main event and then Tiffy cashes in, because that will happen. There's no way that Tiffy's not going to cash in at that point.
Yeah, I still got the theory of Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair, WWE Women's Championship. Tiffy might lose. I won't be surprised because, like I said before, it is Charlotte Flair. And her and Cena are having a race to see who's going to be 16 and who's going to break 16. So I wouldn't be surprised if both of them are champions going into 2025. But Mike D, what are your thoughts and predictions on Charlotte Flair and what moves she might make on her impending return?
I think when she returns, I think she's going to have a couple small feuds, and then she's going to be in a match or in a feud with somebody, and then I think that's when we're going to hear Jade Cargill's music, because people got to remember, too, when Jade Cargill had signed with WWE on SmackDown, it was a face-off between Jade and Charlotte Flair. So, yeah, so I think that if Jade comes back and interferes in one of her in a Charlotte Flair match, that's who Jade's real feud is going to be against.
I mean, well, yeah, because I'm not ruling out the possibility that it was Charlotte Flair. Because there's so many directions Charlotte Flair can go. She can go straight to the championship. Because let's not remember, when she came back the first time, she went straight to Asuka for a championship. And then whatever feud she had after that, that's where it went to. But she came straight for Asuka, so I would not be surprised if she comes straight for Nia. I mean, Charlotte could go after Nia. She could be the one who attacked Jade. She has already storylines waiting for her when she gets back, which I'm happy, because the last thing we want is for Charlotte Flair to come back and there's really no direction. So even if the WWE Championship wasn't in play, it still would have been a possibility she would have came back for Nia, or she would have came back, cut a promo, give a little speech, and Nia would have came out and ruined it. And then there's your feud right there. So I think eventually we was gonna get Nia and Charlotte because we never got the end to that feud because she got fired. So and no one's firing Charlotte Flair. So
Right.
I can see that happening. I can see her be the one to attack Jade, to Tig's point. And I can still see Naomi be the one to attack Jade as well because it looks like she's the weakest one out of the big three. So there's a potential storyline there. Then if you want to bring up the showdown with her and Charlotte, let's not forget the showdown with her and Bianca at the Royal Rumble.
That's true too.
And it's like, oh, you strong? Oh, I'm strong too. Oh, let's see who it is. But they want to be in tag team partners. So there's that. So there's so many possibilities Charlotte can go. There's so many possibilities Jay can go. John, where do you think Charlotte Flair is gonna land when she comes back? Because she got a lot on her plate that she can choose from.
She's going back to SmackDown. One, because I think she can finally have that dynamic of her and Andrade being on the same brand, even though they won't probably be on. We probably won't see them on TV together for a minute, but they have that dynamic of them being on the same, of finally working together as husband and wife, as opposed to man and boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, and engaged. And I think she's going to go personally. I think she's going straight for Nia. And like she said when at Asuka, when she came back the last time after she lost to Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 39 and SoFi, she took her time off and she came back. Asuka had became the WWE Women's Champ. Now that was at that time was the Raw Women's Championship. Now it's the WWE Women's Championship. After she beat Bianca in Saudi, and she basically said, I don't get in line. I start the line. I am the line. And gonna always be the line. Hate it or love it. I know it's not popular, but her last name and her resume carries a lot of weight. And when she gets back, she's gonna have carte blanche to pretty much go to Triple H or whoever in creative and say, this is what I want to try to get. This is where I want to go. We saw it when she came back and basically squashed Ronda Rousey after Ronda Rousey beat her at Backlash. She's going to come back wanting gold. It's just in her blood. And it's the Flair mind state. And he's going to set up, we're going to get the Battle of the Blondes at WrestleMania in Vegas. Her and Tiffany, they're pretty much a mirror image. This Tiffany Stratton is what Charlotte Flair would have been if she would have really started in the Indies. If she would have been working with like how Tiffany was working with Vern Gagne, that would have been pretty much where Charlotte Flair was if her last name wasn't Flair.
Maybe.
About the athleticism, but obviously Charlotte had the intangibles and having her daddy in her corner, which helps a lot. Because me and Mike.
I mean, she did earn her way in NXT though.
Yes, she did. But like the point, like when you and Mike was talking about before the show about when we was having the conversation about Braun and Bronny, it helps to have that resource, and that resource paid off well. Because remember when she beat Natalya, you got Ric Flair in her corner, you got Brett in Natalya's corner. So, but then when it's all said and done, to the original question, I think she's going for the women's title. Only she has nothing against the world heavyweight title. But I think she knows the prestige of having that belt around her waist, especially when you go back to WrestleMania 32.
Yeah, and also if you think about it, when Charlotte came back after dropping the title, she took a back seat to championships. Like, thanks, Dale. Appreciate you. She literally took a back seat for as championship matches go. I mean, she had, she was kind of part of it, but she never won. She wasn't champion. She never won anything. She had matches that involved Bianca Belair, and then her last match was against Asuka. So she's took L's and she had some wins, but she pretty much stayed out of the championship scene. So this is probably their way of, welcome back. We're going to get you the championship, but it's not going to be right away. She's going to challenge Nia. Tiffany Stratton's going to get in the way and fuck all that up. And then you go on a WrestleMania, and then you have Charlotte Flair winning at WrestleMania. And Tiffany will have her moment as women's champion. And whatever she does with that title reign, will determine whether or not, they see something in her and she has a future title reign in her future. I mean, because look at Liv Morgan, she won the Raw Women's Championship, and that wasn't the end of her. And now she's the World Heavyweight Champion a few years later. So if Tiffany does well in her first reign and holds her own against Charlotte Flair, because I got Charlotte Flair winning at WrestleMania, I'll be surprised as hell if Tiffany Stratton beats Charlotte Flair, because it's going to be the battle of the moonsaults. And I got my money on Tiffany Stratton, because I agree with Kinsey on this. She does hit a better moonsault than Charlotte Flair.
That's not saying much. Someone by
it actually
seconds that emotion.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of daughters of the Four Horsemen, this brings me to the final.
Oh boy.
Actually, she's gonna be back before the Rumble. I think she's gonna be back between now and January 6th. That's my opinion. They're already saying she's ready to go. They already got people creative getting ready to figure out how they're gonna present her return. So it's either gonna be that SmackDown leading to January 6th, or it's gonna be on January 6th. But it's definitely gonna be before the Rumble. Now, speaking of horsemen and daughters of the horsemen,
I thought you said
this brings me to my. Yeah, you know what? I'm not even gonna go there.
I'm on the right show. I'm on the right show. No.
Well, any show Mo was on always turns out to be the right show for you, dog.
All day.
But Tessa Blanchard, she's still been wrestling, but she is officially back on television as she appeared at TNA's Final Resolution this past week.
Relax,
and took out Jody Grace. Now, for those who don't know, years ago, Tessa Blanchard was accused of being, a bully in the women's locker room, wherever she was.
And a racist.
Constant bully. You can ask Chelsea Green. You can ask anyone else who ever worked with Tessa Blanchard. And she also was reported to spit in a black woman's face and called her whatever racial word she used. At the time, she was on top of the world as the TNA heavyweight champion, which was unheard of in professional wrestling since China winning the Intercontinental Championship. She won the company's gold. She was basically the face of the business, right? So after that contract expired, either her contract expired or they let her go. One of the two, I forgot which one it was. She took time off, got married, took some time off from wrestling. She started wrestling in AAA, and now she's officially back wrestling in the States. There was reports that TNA has signed her, and if it was, nobody knew. The talent didn't know. Half of management didn't know. It was literally a kept secret up until that night she walked through those curtains. And of course, Jordynne Grace did refuse to work with Tessa Blanchard. So we'll see how that goes on the upcoming tapings of TNA, with Jordynne Grace pretty much on her way out of the company into WWE. So it remains to be seen if she actually going to put Tessa Blanchard over on her way out or not. But the problem that most people have, and I personally have as well.
Nick.
Wow.
Nick.
Anyway, so the problem that I have with this
I would
is
do that and
because
drizzle some maple syrup as well, and then do that.
Whoa, what?
Skeleton cannot be on the station.
No,
But,
no.
shout out to the 99 Gorilla, man. That's my guy. My problem is that after all this time, she's never addressed those issues. She's never issued a public apology. She's never addressed saying anything about her being wrong, or we know whatever reason she could have or she can make up. She hasn't said anything. She, to this day, she still has been silent. So there's been 50-50 responses from her peers upon her return. I don't think that would have fly with WWE. Otherwise, she would have been there a long time ago. But I'm gonna get you guys' opinions on this. She, like I said, she has yet to apologize or issue a statement of anything. So the fact that she's back in TNA, people say she's signed to TNA. I've seen a interview clip of her saying that she's not officially signed with TNA. So the fact that they still brought her in is still like, whoa. Everyone online is like, TNA, you're doing so good. What are you doing? Don't mess this up. So, Mike, what do you think about this whole Tessa Blanchard controversy? We do believe that, people do believe in second chances, but do she?
Man, nah. I mean, you spitting in a woman's face, you calling them the N-word, just nah, man. And you a bully, nah. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think people will want to work around her or work with somebody like that. And I think for TNA, it's a bad move for them. Just on the strength of, they didn't rebuild the company and stuff. And I didn't think it was a good move for TNA. They could have just let her stay in AAA where she been.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Mo, what are your thoughts on Tessa Blanchard?
Do you think they did this to test the waters? Because if she's not officially signed, maybe that's what it was, right? Just to see the reactions, because TNA, yes, they've done a good job rebuilding themselves and rebranding, but they were always like third, fourth fiddle to everyone else. And I always call them the forgotten child because I always forget about TNA unless I see clips or whatever else. So I get where they're coming from. They're trying to make a big impact, but it's with the wrong person. Like when you're that disrespectful and you show no remorse and no sorrow, no, there's other avenues you could go with this, and it revives the stigma of TNA where they'll set themselves up where they're doing well, and then they'll do something stupid like this to bring them right back down to the gutter. So I think this was a horrible move on their part, and you have to ask yourself, was it worth it? And I don't think so. I think it was a stupid move on their part. Lousy.
Yeah. I mean, even if they were testing the waters, the fact that you left a lot of people in the dark on bringing her in, that alone is going to raise a lot of eyebrows because, like I said, there was reports. Something like there was reports nobody knew. They were blindsided. Even some of management didn't know they was bringing it in. So it's like, whose call was it? So I don't know where they're going to go with this. If she gets a job somewhere, I do believe she's going to have a talk with the women's division and that locker room and try to get on everyone's good side, open up a statement, open up an apology or something, because the longer she's been quiet all these years, and no one's not going to forget, especially the Black community. And let's not forget, wherever roster she goes on, there's going to be ethnicity in that locker room. So people will know and people will address her. So she could be a bully all she wants, but in this day and age, there's a whole lot of women that are not taking that nowadays. This 2024 going on 2025. So a lot of females ain't standing for it. So she's going to have to, I don't know what TNA's doing. If they're trying to get her a contract, she needs to sit down and have a meeting with everyone, including the roster, because something like that, being a bully is one thing because that goes on in every locker room back then. In every promotion, WWE had bullies. You had, JBL, you had Vince, you had other people. So that I can kind of, that's whatever. That's the reputation. That's the reputation. But the racial part of her issues, nah, she gotta talk that shit out with everybody, because even people who are not black, they took very offense to Tessa Blanchard, and they probably don't want her in that locker room, which is probably why they kept everybody on the hush. Because if they even somewhat even told people they were bringing her in, there's probably gonna be a lot of pushback. Which I do not fault Jordan Grace at all for not wanting to work with her, even on her way out. It's like I wouldn't either. So, John, what do you think is going to happen with Tessa Blanchard? Is TNA going to bring it back full time? If so, what do you think is going to do to that company if she does not say anything?
It's going to be a total black eye to all the goodwill they've built, especially in this last year, bringing back the TNA brand, this collaboration they've had with WWE. You're losing Jordan Grace in a matter of weeks because we all expect that she's coming to WWE. We're going to see her at the Royal Rumble, and she's going to begin her time in WWE. There's reports about, I just saw the other day, Trent Seven, he's being released. Jay Chung, their ring announcer, who's the wife of Josh Alexander, she's done. We're hearing the rumors about Josh Alexander possibly being done. You're asking other wrestlers to take pay cuts. And let's throw the elf in the room. I know it's going to happen at Genesis, but let's be real. We still don't know what's the seriousness with Joe Hendry's contract. I know they say they got him on the books for this and that, but there's rumors about Joe Hendry might be on the outs too. This was not good. This clearly came over Creative's head, because what I read was this was an anthem move, bringing her in there, and out of all people you want to have her squash, you're going to squash Jordan Grace, who's pretty much the face of that locker room. You could have went to her and Masha Slamovich, and obviously maybe the top, especially like I know Tasha Steele's Puerto Rican, but she's still a woman of color. But you could have went to these women. Yeah, you could have went to all these women and told them give them a heads up and let them know what's going to happen. I guarantee you, Jordan Grace didn't know that Tessa Blanchard wasn't in the ring, in the building until that night. Not cool. All the stuff that Jordan Grace has done for this company, that wasn't cool. And then you have her get basically cut this promo. She shoves Gia Miller, and you see Tully Blanchard in the cut when he wasn't supposed to be. He just looked at
you can tell.
Totally tacky. It was no. I'm all for giving someone second chances. I despise cancel culture, but like Trail has stated, you've had 4 years to try to make this right. You haven't apologized once. You ain't apologized to Chelsea Green. You ain't apologized to Gigi Dolan, any other woman you bullied in TNA and AAA, and you ain't apologized to the young, I forget her name. Was it Black Rose, the girl from NWA who was at the heartbeat of this whole situation for spitting in her face and calling her the N-word. So no, I don't think Tessa Blanchard should be back in TNA until she proves that she has totally had a change of character. Because technically, if you haven't apologized yet, how we know this ain't gonna happen again?
Yeah.
Well, and I said, in this day and age, it's not gonna happen again anyway.
And I want to ask you guys something, Terrell, and I'll let you do this, bro. By the way, I got it. What did y'all make of I've seen a lot of heat towards Moose, because it seems like Moose has been trolling this situation by posting pictures with him and Tessa Blanchard. I saw a lot of my people over at Black Wrestling. They weren't happy about it. I think a lot of people are thinking pretty much basically making a mockery of the situation.
It's sometimes you don't know if they're kayfabe or not, but at the same time, Tessa Blanchard still had friends. So we can't ignore that the woman still have friends. And it is, in my opinion, even if it's a joke, it's kind of a bad look on Moose because the severity of the whole thing. So, I mean, when it happened, did she talk to Moose about it? Like, she's been welcome. I've been paying attention to social media because I follow a lot of wrestlers on social media. There's been some that, that she has reposted on her Instagram of people like, happy she's back or, happy she's on TV or happy that she's working. So she has some support. So we can't ignore that. So she still got friends. So they're gonna come out. We're all gonna see who her friends are moving forward. Because again, she has friends. So this is why I kept saying she needs to open up a statement. Now, if she does it in private, gives like a statement in private to the people, have a meeting behind closed doors with everyone, and as she does it in private, cool. We don't need to hear it in public. If people want to hear it in public, they have a right to want to know. But if she at least came out and it's been reported that she has already in behind closed doors gave her apology or gave a statement on, she was wrong or she was in the right place or whatever it is. If that comes out that she did that, I'm cool. I'm cool with it. But until then, nah, fuck that. She can't do something like that and get away with it in the eyes of the community,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Trell took the words out of my mouth. Yeah.
Fuck that.
And she definitely wouldn't try nothing like that in WWE. You think she'd pull that on Bianca, Jay, and Naomi?
I was telling John that this morning. She is not doing that in the locker room that's going to have Lash Legend, Jay Cargill, Bianca Belair, Naomi. Hell no.
And they might call up Jada Parker.
Did you do that shit at NXT?
No. Gosh, she definitely ain't trying that at WWE. She might get a sister beat down for real.
Man,
her best bet, ironically, her best bet to come back on TV is TNA.
Yeah, or just stay in the Indies.
Not even New Japan.
I mean, if they want her, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't mind seeing her on the other side on the other side of the country, out of sight, out of mind. Let her try to do that shit. Let her try to do that shit with them Japanese women.
I was just about to say
that. Go ahead. Go to Stardom. Try to do that shit in Stardom if you want to.
Right.
There's a reason why Anna Jay and everybody else came back different.
They won't love her a long time if she did that.
I mean, they got some bullies over there, so they probably love her all right.
It's that Mushu. Yo, it's that Mushu. Trust me, it's that Mushu.
Yeah, that Mushu. Hey, actually, that Mushu is pretty good though. But anyway, hey man, we gonna get up out of here, man. Thank you everyone the final call on names of 2024. John, you mind doing this one time for the good time for the last time of the year?
For the last time in 2024, it is time for the segment, often imitated. It's never duplicated. This all started because sometimes people got to get called out for stupid stuff they say on the world of sports and in sports entertainment. So tonight, for the last time in 2024, it is time for a Sports4U Wrestling edition of Calling Out Names. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to lead this off. Let me start first with one Peter Rosenberg. Love you.
Oh,
love
no,
you,
not Pete.
I love Pete Rosenberg, man. Love High 97, man. Love, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Hebrew brothers. But here's my thing. Peter Rosenberg was backstage doing interviews for Saturday Night's Main Event with Jackie Redmond. Shout out to another fellow Canadian Mo. So they had an interview with CM Punk, and they're talking about how CM Punk was asking about him being a fan, and he shows this picture where all the legends that was there he took with. It was Tito Santana, Jimmy Hart, Greg the Hammer Valentine, and then there was Coco Beware. So Peter Rosenberg says, God, we need to make the case to get Coco Beware in the WWE Hall of Fame. Don't say nothing yet. Coco Beware, I guess he's going to come on camera, and I think he's hearing the interview with them and CM Punk. So Coco Beware comes up, and he tells Peter Rosenberg, let me clear the record straight. I got inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2009.
Somebody gonna be watching the product and you're an employee.
Right.
And then Peter Rosenberg tried to clean it up. So are we saying that he can get the 2 rings, like Ric Flair, like Triple H and Shawn? Like, nah, you can't clean that up. You didn't know Coco Beware was in the Hall of Fame. I knew it because he went in the year Stone Cold went in. So that's how I remember it.
And to your point, John, even if he was trying to clean that up, it's a bad look because the only way he would get 2 rings is what?
You would have seen individual and in a tag team.
Yeah, or in a faction.
And who was his tag team partner?
High Energy with Owen Hart.
Or if you're a porn star.
Yeah.
Well, that too. But Owen Hart, and we already know that situation. Owen Hart never getting into the Hall of Fame. So whether he was trying to clean it up or he really didn't know, that was a bad look on Pete. And come on, dog. Right. How you not know? And you're a fan.
Come on, man. My next one I name is to my fellow wrestling fans. Just because you're at the show, do not make yourself a part of the show. I don't know if y'all saw what happened.
I know where he's going.
Final resolution. Nick Nemeth, aka Dolph Ziggler, is facing Eddie Edwards. Eddie Edwards is being his heel, and he's talking trash to the fans. And that was his one fan he was talking trash to.
Wait, no, John, that was a tag team match. That was them against the Hardys.
Was it that? I thought this was this past weekend. You know what I'm talking? I'm talking about something else.
Yeah, it was Final Resolution, but it was the Hardys versus the System.
Okay. And this fan slaps Eddie Edwards.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Now the fan got arrested and he was detained. Ladies and gentlemen, do not, just because you buy a ticket to these events does not make you part of the show. One time, we're Mike, it's crazy we got Mike here. He was from Detroit. We just had the 20-year anniversary of the Mountains.
You're not doing
that. He just had and you being a native from the Motor City, y'all have to live with that. And I know this because I know you're a Pistons fan. Y'all have had to deal with that whole image for the last 20 years.
And to clear it up for my Detroit people, that Palace Brawl happened in Auburn Hills, not Detroit.
Right. That's right. Thank you. Tell them the Palace of Auburn Hills, where the Pistons played for many years before they moved to downtown Detroit, where they're playing now.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
Yeah,
huh? Okay.
That's where they played. They were in the Silverdome. Then they went to the Palace of Auburn Hills. So I understand what Mike is saying, but keep your hands to yourself. If you don't want to get punched or slapped, you don't put your hands on somebody else. If I was the cop, I would just let him go in the locker room, give him 5 minutes in a private room with Eddie Edwards, and he'd get knocked the F out. But that's me. Now, we already talked about the whole with TNA with Tessa Blanchard, so I'm going to leave that one off. My last one is to the men who are wrestling fans. can you please stop body shaming our female wrestlers, please? Some dude posts on Twitter that plus size wrestlers are not entertaining and posts a picture of Piper Niven in the process. Piper
I
Niven.
thought that was a woman.
No, it was a dude.
Profile pic look like a woman.
Probably. But stop it. Let's stop. And Piper Niven, she had fun when she was like, I guess someone's just trying to get their Christmas bonus, I guess. So please, we like women, 4 men here. We like the women of all colors, shapes, sizes. We love what they do in the ring. We love the people they are outside of the ring. But they are still people outside of the ring. They're not objects. That wasn't cool. Do not object these women, please. And that's my calling out names. Back to you, Tro.
I actually don't have called out names. Even if I did, that probably would have been one of them. Because and let's just take line. That's just not just that, and plus there's females that also body shame female wrestlers too. So it's not just men. There's women out there too. So pretty much wrestling fans, period. You know, it's one thing to say that shit on a keyboard, but if you saw Piper Niven in person or if you saw Nia Jax in person, 9 times out of 10, you probably that person you making fun of. And you wouldn't even dare say it to their face. So, like, seriously, relax. Because this is 2024 going on 2025. People nowadays can locate you. They can use your browser, whatever it is, your
IP address. Oh, yeah.
Exactly. And they can come find you, or they can get someone to find you themselves. So, careful how you type, because you never know. They'll pull up to your front door and be like, what was that you were saying about my weight? So you never see it coming. Case in point, that CEO of that healthcare company that got sniped down. You never see it coming. So watch what you say online, because you never know. You just never know.
You don't want.
Mo, you got anyone for call out names?
I got one. It's a TikTok profile, and this person, it's Saeed 87474. Can you stop posting spoilers? I'm just tired of seeing stuff weeks in advance. I like to watch my stuff week by week, and I just saw the SmackDown taping, and I'm a little peeved about it. So, Saeed, just knock it off, man. If you want, come to Canada. I'll hook you up with some oosey juicy beaver tails, and then that's it, man. We good, but just stop with the spoilers, all right? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm with you. I hate the spoilers. But nowadays, I was talking to John about this. Sometimes in the line of work that we do now, as far as content creators, if there's news, there's rumors or something like that, I have to know. But as far as what's happening on the next show, yeah, I don't want to see video clips of.
You already know, dog.
Tig never really officially met Mo.
Tig, you know.
But I'm with you. Like when people who don't really do content and they just really out there just posting the shit that happens, it does take the surprise element out of it. I hate that shit. I've always hated it. There's one thing to have news or rumors of someone coming back. I mean, you can either not listen to it or listen to it, but you know, those are news and rumors. But if you're going online and be like, all right, this is what happened in this match, this is who won, this is how that person wins, and then this is the segment that's gonna happen. It's like, come on, man. Like, I want to know for myself. Like, shut the fuck up. So I get you, Mo. I've been saying it for months and probably years. That shit gotta stop. That type of spoiling gotta stop. There's one thing to, Charlotte Flair's coming back this weekend, or someone just got signed.
Yeah,
you can't get mad at that. You can, but we got jobs to do. That's the rumors. That's how we we do our thing. But to give away match endings, like, nah, man. Let us watch it, especially if it's taped. Let us watch it.
Yeah, you hear that, Saeed? Shut the fuck up. All right.
Mike, you got anyone you want to call out, or someone? If you don't have anyone to call out, you can send a shout out to someone as well that you want
to. Yeah, just I just call out wrestling fans, and just to quote one of my homies, Joe Monroe. Shout out to Joe. Just shut up and enjoy pro wrestling, man. You know what I'm saying? Wrestling is at the top of its peak. It's been, it's good right now. You know what I'm saying? We got WWE, we got AEW, people that like TNA. You still got New Japan. We have a variety of pro wrestling, and it's no reason for people to take it serious the way you do. Like Jay-Z say, I don't know if it's really good to be quoting Jay-Z right now. It's only entertainment.
Probably not, but go ahead.
Charles Barkley doesn't think so. Charles Barkley does not think so.
I mean, if you saw our last episode, John quoted R. Kelly, so you might as well go ahead and
I quoted R. Kelly and Jay-Z because they were both on the same song. So I mean, go down with the ship.
Drip, drip, drip.
Yeah, like you said, it's only
oh, shout out to Dave Chappelle, man. That's one of my funniest skits he's ever done, man.
Yeah, that's all I got to say.
And that pretty much concludes the final calling out names of 2024. Me and John, we would like to thank everyone who supported us from day one when we started this this journey, especially from our first watch along, which is Money in the Bank, and then our first actual Sports4U. Yeah, he was. And especially our first actual Sports4U pod on this channel that started in October, which was on my birthday week. So that will forever be sentimental to me. We will not be on next week because next week is Christmas. So everyone enjoy your holiday. Stay safe. We will be back January 1st of the new year. We will be going over the premiere of Monday Night Raw, which I will be in the building. And then we also go over the NXT, which me and John will be in the building. We just copped our tickets this morning, so we're going to be live and direct. So, again, thanks for everyone that showed up all these months. This is pretty much our first season, our debut year, our debut season of the Sports4U podcast. There will be more to come next year. We will have more guests on. We will be working on getting some merch, so keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. And again, on behalf of me, on behalf of John, Mo, Mike D, we wish y'all all a safe and happy Merry Christmas, a safe and happy New Year.
Happy holidays.
Get loaded, get drunk, and in Mo's case, get all the maple syrup you can get. get all the beavers you can get.
Each and every drop. I'm telling you, don't waste.
Happy birthday to Pete Austin and Trish Stratus.
Yes, sir. Happy birthday to the legends. Indeed. Happy birthday to the legends. We're going to get up out of here. We love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for pulling up. Thanks to our guys that pulled up. Thanks to the comment section.
No problem.
Thanks to Nick for trying to sabotage the show. He's still my guy. But we will see y'all in 2 weeks. Happy New Year and stay safe.
Peace.
Out. Merry Christmas, everybody.